All right, I'm having kind of dilemmas about whether I get on Twitter or not. I'm really not sure because I just had a quick look at their site. I went to log in and then I thought I'd better read the privacy and the thing settings. I only read some of it, not a huge amount of it, but there was one thing in particular that stood out, and I thought I'm not sure, because it mentions the content and they do capitalize content. Um, but the content, which is mine, that I would own, I obviously own the rights to that content. um, Obviously, I sort of any any responsibility of the outcome of any of the things that happen because of that content, of course, that's mine. But so I own the rights to it, but they also own the rights to um, distribution amongst them and their affiliates. And it doesn't really say whether that only means their affiliates now or whether potential future affiliates. But it was worded in such a way to imply that it's potential future affiliates as well, and that in that sort of that not unregulated license, but free license to use your thing however they want to for promotional needs or whatever it is they're saying. They don't really specify. In that sort of way, if they're using your information, you're using your content and editing it, part of me thinks, well, I don't want somebody or potentially somebody else taking content that I've made or thoughts I've had and editing it together, because if history's taught us anything, that can lead to quite that sort of editing and that passing down and things that can lead to some pretty big problems. And let's just say that if you edit things together in a certain way, it's certainly a very good manipulation tool, even if that wasn't what the originator intended to say. So I'm a little concerned that if I originate something on Twitter, that potentially in the future it can be manipulated to evil ends. I mean, it sounds ridiculous to think that, but ultimately it's something that history has taught me. My that's something that possibly needs to be considered. So I'm not signing up for Twitter just yet, but it's a shame because there are people I'd like to follow and chat to, and friends and people online that I'd like to, and I just want to experience Twitter, but I also don't want to have to sign in to experience it and sign away my sort of my potentially how my content is perceived in the future. If anyone has any advice on this, or I know the first thing most people will be thinking is you're overthinking it, but really we kind of have to think about that stuff, don't we? Because we are precious, and I don't want I don't want to be exploited, even if it's years later, because it leads to trouble. All right, or can. Let me know what you think. The end.